can share it with all your friends, right? And that's instant. Now, a newspaper can't do that for you, can it? Can a television station do that for you? Can a radio station do that for you? So basically what this does is allows you to share information rapidly as archival. I can go back to it. All right, websites. Here's Home Depot. I don't know how this is, but Home Depot is a kind of a hardware store in America. It's for home building supplies. Well, their website has a number of videos on it about how to remodel your bathroom or how to select kitchen cabinets. In other words, Home Depot is using their website for instructional videos on how to do home repairs. How to repair that leaky faucet. In my case, we're trying to repair a faucet that doesn't have any hot water. But that's a hotel situation. But the point is that if you're an amateur, you go to this Home Depot site and there's a whole catalog of videos. How to repair a leaky faucet. How to install your carpet. How to tear out a wall. How to make a terrace. Isn't that a wonderful way of selling a product? Because it tells you how to do it and then gives you a list of the things you need. You know, so you have a shopping list, right? So you look at the video, you have the shopping list, you go to Home Depot and say, hey, I want to repair my leaky faucet. And they say, okay, here's what you need. But isn't that a more realistic way of selling something? Telling people how to do it? They're just trying to sell something? So Home Depot uses that as a technique. Websites, Kaiser Medical. They're interested in healthcare. But rather than say the 10 warning points about getting cancer, which is kind of boring, right? Or how to die from cancer, that doesn't sound very interesting. This one here is the evolution of walking. The idea is it's a feature story about walking and how walking can increase physical health and mental health. And that's their contribution to the building brand loyalty. This is a site people go to get health information that they can use. How to lose weight. Nobody's interested in that. No one's interested in losing weight, so I don't know why to do that. But the whole point is that if I can go to that website and I can get health information about how to lose weight or how to drink more beer. I don't know that too. I just spent 3 weeks in Morocco, so I've been beer deprived for 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to being here because I'm very dehydrated. So, you know, in Morocco, their idea of a Moroccan whiskey is mint tea. And I'm telling you, a little bit of mint tea goes a long way. So I had to buy this can of beer, and then I had to go and put it in so if you want to go to Morocco, it's a great place, but depend on drinking Coca-Cola a lot. So anyway, so this is Kaiser Medical. This is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, one of the best websites you should access and look at after this meeting, is Coca-Cola Journeys in terms of website content. And Coca-Cola Journeys has a formula. 50% brand related and 50% non-brand related in terms of content. For example, this one is here about alternative desk. It has nothing to do with Coca-Cola. It's about the fact that you have alternative desk and stand at a desk or kneel at a desk or whatever. But it has other features here. It has a history of Coca-Cola feature. They have all these features. And so it's like reading a magazine. But no one wants to read a magazine exclusively about Coca-Cola. That's overkill, right? But if you mix the Coca-Cola stories and with some other interesting articles about how to use a desk properly or how to walk or how to do something, it helps. Coca-Cola Journeys. Here's our good old friend Red Bull. I highly recommend that you look at the Red Bull site. Has anybody looked at the Red Bull site recently?
Yes.
Anybody looked at the Red Bull site? You know, while you're drinking, you might want to do that. Because Red Bull, believe it or not, they think they're a media company. Red Bull in Hollywood, California, has video studios and television studios that are more elaborate than our American networks are. And they're producing all this sort of videos about extreme sports. Because Red Bull, what's the demographic for Red Bull? Who is Red Bull trying to track? Who's Red Bull trying to track? How young? 12? No, 19. But basically, their demographic is 18 to 30. 18 to 30, that's all they care about. 18 to 30. Old guys like me, they care less. But basically, they're producing and sponsoring a lot of extreme sports. Motorcycle rallies, sailing, surfing, all this stuff. All this stuff you do every day, right? And so they produce these sort of documentaries. And when you believe that Red Bull is followed by 27 million people, their active base is 27 million people. What newspaper has 27 million people as a base? What television station or network in the United States, Russia, even though it is controlled, or Romania has 27 million people? No way. So this is Red Bull's website. Here's another Red Bull story. But see, would you rather read this or would you rather read a commercial about Red Bull? Would this interest you more, you think, than reading about just Red Bull? This is about the best female big wave surfer of our generation, my favorite toy, X Games real women. Does that sound more interesting to you than Red Bull? It does to me. This is Kellogg's cereals. Well, they make breakfast food, so they have a lot of website and content about, again, weight gain, how to lose weight, how to have cereal in your diet, stories about health, right? Because they want you to use their cereal for your own benefit. And they don't talk about how great your cereal is, they just say, if this is what you want to do, we can help you. Online newsroom. This is the online newsroom for Red Bull. This is brand journalism. Red Bull Racing Australia dominates the Perth. First wingsuit flight over the Naze lines in South America. All stuff they sponsor. And you get this feeling that Red Bull is the drink if you're an active sports enthusiast, right? Here's HP's website. Again, some stories. Blogs. A lot of companies have blogs. A lot of organizations do. Do many companies in Romania have blogs? Yeah, they're starting to. And the reason you have a blog is that you can be more informal in your communications. See, websites are very formalistic, very formal writing, very organizational, very, structured. Blogs are a lot more fun because you've got a conversation going. So this is a website for Target. It's a department store, it sells everything. So the blog here is this woman, a young woman that's a young mother, has a blog about how she buys different products at Target as part of her daily life and her daily work in terms of her children. And she's just a housewife like you, or like whatever, right? She's not a student. But the idea is, what's the demographic of Target? The demographic of Target is not you as a student. The demographic are young families that want, can afford to buy certain products. So their demographic is young families. So why not have a young, vivacious woman with children writing a blog about how she's using different products creatively to save money, right? Here's another blog. This is a Coca-Cola blog. But Coca-Cola gets its message across because at the top, 3,500 products worldwide, 1 million tweets per quarter, 126 years of happiness, the stock market, and they're available in 200 countries. Pretty good stuff, right? Easy, demographics. And then they have all kinds of debates going on, and they encourage their readers to participate. Because in a blog, you can encourage readers to respond. And that's called engagement. If I can get you to respond to a website or a blog, that's building a relationship, isn't it? You're no longer passive, you're part of that project. This City Lights, we're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow, but this is a blog. And they talk about the books that they have, that they're promoting a certain book or a certain number of an author. So they have an interview with the author. So why did you write this book? What do you hope to gain? What was your incentive? On and on and on. But that's, again, a personal sort of interview in a very informal way. Anybody use YouTube here? Do you know that YouTube is the second most used website on the planet after Google? YouTube is universal. And you know what the number one thing on YouTube is? What? Well, I thought it was cat videos. For some reason, everybody likes cat videos on YouTube. I prefer dogs myself, but that's less exciting. And YouTube is the second most searched site on this planet. Because that is another story you should know. Today's public relations is all visual. You're a visual generation. Sitting in this room, you're a visual generation. You don't like to read. You don't like to read, so that's why one of my books I developed is called Think. This is one of my editions. We're working on the third edition coming next year. And this Think book has a pretty picture. And so this is what they call a Wilcox light. This is pretty heavy. This is for a serious student. But all right, so I've got undergraduates in America. They said, "Oh, that's too heavy, I can't read that. Too much type. So what do we should simplify it for them. So this is 400 pages, this is 600 pages. Each chapter is 10,000 words or less. Something a student can read in kind of a half hour. Pretty pictures, color, headlines. So this is popular. 250 universities in America use this. The serious people use this one. This is about 200 universities. But then I kind of like this, except it's kind of fun. It's kind of like a fat version of Vogue. That's fun. But in the country of Georgia, they've adopted this nationalism as their PR. I don't have responsibility. So anyway, you got YouTube. There's YouTube City Lights, talking about videos. Because in a bookstore, you can video your authors. You can video interviews. Pinterest. Is Pinterest used here yet?
Yes.
You know why I get a big good response? 80% of the Pinterest users are women. The Pinterest users, 80% are women. They just love to pin things. Men, we could care less. Why pin this? Well, the only thing that men pin are pictures of pretty women, I guess. But women are a little bit more generalized. They pin anything. But this is basically the National Wildlife Federation. That one up there, you can barely see it. It says, "Chill out, people." I'm handling it. It shows a squirrel, kind of spreading. Yeah, squirrels. That one there was downloaded 4 million times, or pinned 4 million times. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? How are we doing time? Are we doing all right time-wise?
Sorry.
You doing all right time?
Very well.
Okay.
Very time.
So this is my publisher's website. And again, they have all the books for children listed on the website. And you can pin that, or if you click on that, it takes you to Amazon.com. Facebook. How many are on Facebook? You thought about that? Everybody. You know, Facebook has 1.5 billion people on it, which is 1 out of 7 people in the world. It's amazing. 1.5 billion people are using Facebook. And it's amazing because it's eliminated geographical barriers. So I have all these friends in Romania, right, on Facebook. I also have a big fan club, I guess, in Argentina. My name is written on every bathroom wall in Argentina. You know, for a good reason, public relations, you know. So I'm very popular in Argentina, but I think it's the bathroom culture. But Facebook is an excellent way to share content and to share photos. And do you realize that in Facebook now, almost all Facebook messages have photos? No, nobody's just posting just a regular old thing. They're all posting stories and photos. Again, it goes back to the visual culture. Facebook photos are the most important thing you post. People look at your picture, but they won't look at your message. But be careful about Facebook. Don't ever post those pictures from that party you went to last night. Because employers also look at Facebook. So be very careful, because we've had situations in the United States where people have been eliminated from jobs consideration because the employer in their search looked on their Facebook page. He says, "I don't want this gal. She's got red hair and she's got a whiskey in her hand." Or whatever. Be very discreet about what you post. Here's Facebook for Pearson. Twitter. How many are on Twitter? Is Twitter popular here yet?
Yeah, not much.
Not that much. You know, they found out, one of the things they found out is everybody signed up for Twitter, but only 10% of the people use it. Everybody has a Twitter account, but only 10% of the people actually use it. I don't see a reason for Twitter. I mean, why would I want to talk to somebody in 140 characters? I was thinking about maybe I could write a book, 140 characters at a time. But you know what? One company did that. A company released, this is Apple. You've heard of Apple. I live in Silicon Valley, so I pass Apple every day. There's a big monument to Steve Jobs there now. But anyway, Apple posted, for their i6, they posted a news release in 10 segments on a Twitter account. 10 little 140, character things. It was a whole news release. So Twitter is great because what you can do as a public relations person is that the 140 characters are not the important part, it's the link that you give. It's the link you give. So most Twitter things for PR purposes are just giving you links to another website or to a news release or to whatever. So Twitter has this advantage. You know about paid media.